Yeah, because she's a rock star.
There.
She's never seen that commercial.
You're
the only one.
Chantel.
We're,
All right, the county commissioners are back, and we're meeting with the treasurer. Let's go ahead and introduce yourself and your buddy, your sidekick, and we'll go from there. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Jennifer Clark, Bannock County Treasurer.
Misty Castellamitas, Chief Deputy Treasurer.
The floor is yours.
Oh,
So
It
is there
is.
anything special on your budget you want to
yes.
talk about?
Yes, there is.
If you need to talk to specific people, we can go into executive session. If you keep it generic, we don't need to.
10-4.
Some of the others.
Is that a line item?
Like line numbers.
Is this code?
If you use position control number, which is the number after line item,
Oh, okay.
then that can identify the,
Okay. Uh-huh. Okay, so in reference to, so the 402-5010-9002, that number?
That'll work.
No?
The one
next
zero.
over.
110103?
yes.
Okay. As I have mentioned, that's,
Is that what you said?
I said all of these.
Yeah, you just
Okay.
need the last.
My apologies. Okay, so 109002. I am asking that we bring back our position that we had prior to 2019 for our senior deputy treasurer, which is a step up from our other deputy treasurer positions. It brings more responsibility and duties. It's more of a supervisor position. And as I stated in my letter, the reason that we haven't had it since 2019 was because we pretty much had a brand new staff the last 6 years. And so it's one that you kind of have to qualify for with years of service, which is 5 years. And so at this time, I would like to bring it back so that that line item can be moved up into that position.
It's kind of similar to the senior probation officers that we do for juvenile and adult probation.
And then I would still have the 2 deputy treasurers, same number of employees, it just is moving one up into a different position. And again, we always had that in our budget. It just has not been there the last 5 years, 6 years because of 3 people retiring and positions getting filled by others. So that is my biggest request. Obviously, I have mentioned in the past that I would love to see my deputy treasurers moved up to a grade 6 due to their job responsibilities and what we actually do in our office, the high liability and tax collection. And again, as always, we're always asking for some kind of a COLA raise each year. So that takes care of my Schedule A. And then I'd like to point out on my Schedule B that we have made some drastic cuts. I say drastic, I feel drastic. Totaling $14,100 this year off of our Schedule B. So I would hope that you could consider the efforts that we've made to cut those and hopefully allow some of my other wants.
How come you took your ISJ down to $1,500? Or is that more just for the Versa check that you took it down? You went from 6,500 to 5,000?
Printing and binding.
Yeah, sorry.
That one
The Idaho State Journal
has been less.
we've been consolidated that down quite a bit, so.
Okay.
And my employee here works so greatly to get those numbers down, so there's not as many posted.
Love it, love it. And then the computer supplies dropped quite a bit. How come?
Because Adam says, am I looking at the right one? Yes, Adam takes care of a lot of that out of his budget.
Okay.
So what we were carrying for years, we don't need to anymore.
Okay.
And we've always talked about in the past the title search fees.
I was just looking at that.
That one
Yeah.
is just such an unknown that they try to dwindle them down as much as possible, but you never know what it's going to be.
Right.
So just any unused just rolls forward. Or builds to reserves.
The title search
Title
does?
search.
No,
That postage does.
Postage does, doesn't it?
No, your title search.
It does
It rolls
too?
over?
It rolls into reserves. You're thinking of the postage machine and
Oh.
rolling, no. I mean, unspent money rolls forward. So it adds to reserves. Yes.
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, they're thinking the mail machine, and once you put money into the mail machine trust account, that money is what rolls forward. Sorry.
That's okay. No, but we felt that we were safe in decreasing that a little bit this year, just because it hasn't been as much.
Okay. Any questions?
No?
Ken? Pretty
No,
simple.
looks good. Your overall budget's down, save money. Yeah, good work. It is what it is, huh?
Any questions for me?
Oh, we got a lot of questions. No. No, looks good, thank you.
Okay.
That's it?
That's it?
Yeah,
All right.
pretty simple.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
67? Is that where we're at?
Sure. You beat me to it, I don't know.
Come on up.
What's that? We're rolling.
On a roll? Good.
We can start 15 minutes ahead of what we were scheduled.
We won't take much of your
67,
time.
just like the best Camaro ever.
Actually, it had a pretty sweet little Mustang.
Oh, yeah, that's a good Mustang year, too.
My wife family has one of
Go
those.
ahead and introduce yourselves, and then the floor is yours.
Okay, Denise Muncy, I'm the treasurer for the Bannock County Veterans Building.
Miguel Dominic, the building historian.
Phil Clifton, Vice President of the building,
I'm Anthony Dominic. I am the rep for the AMVET group here.
soon to be a new officer.
And he's not related to me.
All right, what is your request?
So actually for our budget, we weren't going to ask for any change. We were just going to keep it as is.
As much as you guys have helped us out the last year, we're working on money. We're working every day just about. But
We're not asking for any increase or
on the
anything
budget
like
at
that.
all.
How's your fundraising efforts going for your money
The building?
match? Yeah.
So, right now, we're at, I'll say I'm gonna take a guess at about 137,000. 100,000 we've already given the Servpro, for the rebuild, or 100,000 was for the lead abatement, and the tear down. For the rebuild, they're asking for 115,000. Once the floor is done, then it's another 57,000, and then the final bill is 19,000. Our fundraising efforts, out of the 100 that we've already given them, we're probably 40-some thousand. We have until the end of August, and then the foundation that gave us that original 100,000 will match any funds that we get up to 100,000. And who knows, they may even just step in it even if we don't get to that 100,000 anyway. Servpro is still out of the building. We have the downstairs portion of the building, but the upstairs is completely closed off. So we're not able to use the upstairs, hence we don't have any incoming money coming in because we're not able to really rent the building, so.
Okay. Any questions for anybody?
Well, I'm gonna be straightforward with you. I'm not real happy with the way things happened here. You come and talked to us and we told you not to use ServPro and stuff, and you went ahead and went out of, and we have no control over any of that stuff. That's all yours. And so my question is whether we continue to have that as our memorial in Bannock County, or we go to Gold Star or something else and put our money there instead. So I'm not sure where I am at right at this time about continuing you as our memorial, which
Well, I know we didn't realize that Servpro, and I'll use the expression, was going to stab us in the back. And they really did.
well,
And now we're finding out in a lot of other places that are having the same problem. What we're doing now is trying to get rid of them.
well, and you can see my frustration.
I understand that.
We have invested a lot of money. I
Right.
mean, we're close to $800,000 in the last little bit
Sure.
that we've invested into this, and then we had tried to have a conversation with you, and we feel like you walked away from us, or I do. And so-
I don't know, that statement I kind of disagree with, that we walked away. At the time when we talked about Servpro was already in the building, and at that time, we relied on Servpro getting what they were supposed to get done. And of course, they went a little bit above and beyond, but when you mention that you feel like this shouldn't be our memorial building, and maybe you should go to Gold Star, I'm not understanding that, because the Gold Star is not the Veterans Memorial Building. Our Veterans Memorial Building has established a history here since 1924. This is the first time something like this has ever happened, and we realize that this building, we are busting our humps to get fundraisers and stuff like that, and we know we're gonna make the goal and stuff. But as far as a veterans building in eastern Idaho, this is like the biggest veterans building. We're not run by anybody, we're run by ourselves. So,
That's exactly it, but we've given you $800,000 and we give you $70,000 or $67,000 every year. And so I'm just saying, is there a better place for Bannock County to have a memorial? And because you guys do have the ability to make money. You do have the ability to run that facility, and we don't have any say in it, but we're the ones that are giving you money.
I think there's a history behind that, you guys giving us that money, right?
Because we dedicated that as a memorial.
And because it's
But I've talked to our attorneys, and they says if you don't budget for it, you can change your memorial.
Well,
I kind of have to disagree on that, because
I'm sure you would.
I know it's a war memorial building, and each county is supposed to supplement that,
A war memorial,
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
Doesn't say building, just says a war memorial.
which that is.
Is what the statute reads.
But it doesn't mean it has to be Bannock County's.
Okay.
We have the option to choose what facility. I mean,
well,
we have the same facility down in Downey.
Okay.
well, like I said, we're not happy with them. And, we thought that we give them a chance to see what they could do up front, and then all of a sudden they turned around and told us, well, this has got to be done, this has got to be done, or we won't be what our criteria are. Well, we're not contractors, we have no way to tell them no. We took it in good faith, which ended up being not the best idea.
And we did contact Judge Coronali to get advice from him on Servpro being in there. And he did let us know, you have to understand, that's a big restoration company. So they will fight it tooth and nail if you guys try to boot them out the building. Now, at this point where we're at, we don't have to have Serpro come back in and do the rebuild. We've had other flooring companies come in and look at the building, but we don't have to have Serpro finish it. When we got that downstairs back and they went out of the building, that was our opportunity right there. Let's see who else can come in and probably do a lower bid than them. And we've had 4 or 5 companies come in and actually do bids on that building.
But yes, we got a lot of bad information from them.
And I understand that, but like I said, I'm a little frustrated. So as we're talking about budget this year, it's a conversation for me.
Ken, you got anything?
Nope, just learning,
Okay,
just listening.
okay, well, we're budgeting stuff for another week or two, so
All right,
we'll get back to you. Thank you.
Okay.
feel free to call us, please. I'm serious. Call us and ask us, where we're at with everything. Thank you.
Thank you.